Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Septiari and from chemistry class A with name 2106031100036. I will talk about the voice management. Sorry. The first, solid waste condition. Solid waste conditions, smell pollution for protein garbage. Water pollution due to dumping garbage into rivers and research seeping from the TPA. Finally, disposal sites, through settlement and residence water source. Air pollution due to burning garbage or other problems that arise due to burning garbage. Garbage disposal also has a negative impact on human health, especially with the increase in vehicle uses and the increasing cost of treating raw water or drinking water. Preserve of the environment. The problem that makes it difficult to control waste pure or the uncontrolled use and utilization of plastic as a means of wrapping, packaging, and containment as will of product protections. Meanwhile, obstacles in waste management are the lack of a coordination between related installations, weak system or regulation on waste management, and lack of public awareness. Domestic solid waste management policy. Waste management hierarchy. 1. For R. Conceptly, reuse was from the source. Reuse loss, recovery, making effort to recover useful material. Recycle, perform processing to products, other products. 2. Waste management by meeting environmental requirement in character. 3. Landfilling in an environmentally friendly landfill. Cities that are included in the Civil Service Program. Metropolitan cities: Surabaya, East Jakarta, Bandung, Medan, West Jakarta, Palembang, Tangerang, Semarang, North Jakarta, Makassar. Big cities: Central Jakarta, Padang, Malang, Bogor, Bandar Lampung, Pekanbaru, Denpasar, Surakarta, Banjarmasin, Samarinda, Yogyakarta. Medium cities: Pontianak, Manado, Jambi, Balikpapan, Mataram, Bengkulu, Palu, Pematang Siantar, Serang, Jayapura, Binjai, Kendari, Ternate, Palangkaraya, Tebing Tinggi, Kebumen, Bima, Parepare. Small towns: High Hills, Wonogiri, Purbalingga, Gianyar, Tabanan, Wajo or Sengkang, Sika, Muara Bungo, Batu Sangkar, Bandung, Bengkalis, Kupang, Rengat, Muara Enim, Indi. The implementation of the Civil Service Program is the monitoring and evaluation of institutional management, responsiveness, physical and innovation aspect carried out by the government, city or district, based on the predetermined criteria and indicators. 2. Hazardous and toxic material. Condition of hazardous and toxic material. According to UNAP data, there are 100,000 types of chemical compounds used and hundreds of which are classified as B3, both in the long and short term, which can interfere with human health and the environment if not managed properly and correctly. Environmental impact trends. Efforts to prevent environmental pollution by B3 are monitoring the amount of chemical circulating and entering the territory of Indonesia, supervising cross-border movement, especially for chemicals that are prohibited and limited in use. The government also monitor persistent organic pollution (POPs). In Indonesia, POPs are toxic chemical usually used as active ingredients for pesticides. Resistant to change stable can accumulate in the body of living things bioaccumulation and can move through the air, water, and living things that are far from the source. Accumulate in the terrestrial or aquatic environment. Battery management efforts. International conventions that support the application of regulation on battery management. 1. The Rotterdam PIC, Prior Information Consent. Convention regulation the cross-border problem of chemical to developing countries, which are not long used in the country of production or loss. 2. The Stockholm Conference on POPs, which regulates the prohibition of the use of 12 types of chemical plastic as POPs, 3 hazardous and toxic waste. 2. Battery was condition. Oh, sorry. 3. Battery was condition. The amount of battery waste that is processed and the Indonesian waste treatment can PPLI battery Cilengsi in 1994 was 9.715 tons. In 2002, it was 24,000 tons. Meanwhile, in 1998 and 1999, the amount of battery was progress decreased because at the time there was an economic crisis. Process on the environmental due to hazardous waste. In Indonesia, factors often destroyed of the resulting battery was directly into the ground without processing. For example, stockpiling in it at the factory site, throwing it into a landfill, throwing it into the river, or making landfill. More than 2.2 tons per year of battery waste is exported to developing countries from developed countries. Yes, PT Mespion Unit E1 Sidoarjo is therefore does not charge its battery waste but throw it directly into the river. It is proven that PT must be fulfilled the regulation regarding battery waste management. Namely, storing battery was exceeded the allowed time minutes more than 90 days. Hoarding was without a permit and not meeting the stipulated requirement for battery waste management. To that end, the government has taken several steps. Realization of import of non-battery waste, namely paper waste and metal scraps. In October 2002, paper waste increased drastically in October, which was approximately 600,000 tons, while metal scrap was in March. April and June increased drastically by approximately 14 million tons. To prevent the entry of battery waste from other countries, Indonesia has ratified the basic convention which regulates the movement of battery waste between countries through President Decree number 6161 of 1993 on July 12, 1992. Waste Management Policy. Government Regulation number 18 on 1999, converting the management of hazardous and toxic waste, which was later revised by Government Regulation of number 85 of 1999. KLH launched the Corporate Performance Ranking Program, or PROPER. PROPER is an alternative program that aims to encourage industry voluntary and with self-awareness to comply with the provisions of good environmental management based on applicable regulation. In 2002, there were 43 industries that forward profit. Conclusion 1. Domestic waste is waste that comes to active dust. 2. Battery is hazardous and toxic material that can pollute and mix the environmental and is also harmful for health. 3. Hazardous waste is processed at PPLI Waste Treatment Center. Chemical hazard or lab safety. Many of the chemicals used in the lab are potentially dangerous, especially under high heat pressure or when they are mixed with the other chemicals. There are combined tools that we use to identify chemical hazard, safety data sheet, and chemical labels. Every chemical in the lab is required to have a technical document called a safety datasheet or SDIs, usually provided by the manufacturer. These were formerly known as material safety datasets or MSDS. The safety dataset is a one-stop shop to find out about a chemical properties, hazard, and safety precaution. Know the location of the safety dataset in your lab and review the before working with a chemical for the first time. GHS is an acronym for the globally harmonized system of classification and labeling of chemicals. This new system provides an international standard format for safety datasets. All SDS must now be organized into 16 sections. 1. Identification. Here you find the chemical name, description, and the manufacturer's contact information. Hazard identification is section. Listen now for warning and safety symbol. Composition, a list of ingredients. First aid was the requirement treatment for a person who had been exposed. Firefighting, accident release there are instruction for containment and cleanup of spill or leaks. Handling and storage, exposure control and personal protection. This describes OSHA, exposure limits and recommended for PPA. Physical and chemical properties such as appearance, odor, pH, place point, solubility, and evaporation. Stability and reactivity, how to avoid hazardous reaction. Toxicological, find out about the likely routes of exposure, symptoms, as well as short and long-term effects. Section 12 and 16 are mandatory, but we shall always be familiar with them. Ecological, disposal, transport, regulatory consideration, other pertinent information. This is where you'll find that the SDS was prepared along with the last known revision. Safety dataset provide a lot of information about how to use chemicals safely in the lab. But there are also another way to learn about a chemical, and that by reading its label, the new GHS formally requires its chemical in the lab to be labeled with blah 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 the products. Names blah 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 artinya words such as danger or caution, physical, health and environmental hazard statement, precautionary statement, pictograms, first aid instruction, and the supplier's contact information. Pictogram consists of a symbol on a white background from a red border. Each pictogram represents a specific hazard: health, flammability, toxicity, compresses gases, skin and eye protection, unstable, explosive, oxidized. An oxidase is a chemical that initiates combustion of the release of oxygen, environmental hazard, and aqueous toxicity. Now, you know how to identify potential chemical hazard by looking at both safety data sheet and chemical label. In our next lesson, we'll examine some important techniques for handling chemicals. Thank you for your watching, and I'm sorry because I very. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.